Hi guys, Mimi's back to read you a story. I really like this one. It's really funny. It's called The Princess and the Pig. It's one of my favorites. By Jonathan Emmett and illustrated by Polly Bernatine. I really like the writing also in books, but when a book is really well illustrated, which this one is, it kind of draws me into it. So if it's a good, well-written book and also has great illustrations, I'm all about it. So I love the illustrations in this book. That's what caught my eye on this one. So let's read The Princess and the Pig. Not that long ago, in a kingdom not far from here, a farmer was traveling home from the market with a cartload of straw. The farmer was so poor that he didn't have a horse and had to pull his own cart. In the back of the cart lay a tiny pink piglet. Nobody wanted to buy the piglet at the market, but the farmer had taken pity on it. That means he felt sorry for the piglet. I'll call you Pigmella, he decided, as this seemed like a good name for a pig. There he is pulling his cart. And there he is with the cute pig. Pigmella, do you think that's a good name for a pig? I like it. It was a hot day and the farmer stopped to rest in the shade of a great castle. Far, far above him, on a high balcony, a queen was inspecting her new baby daughter. The queen was so rich that she had 7 nannies and didn't have to look after her own child. The queen picked the baby out of her cradle and held her at arm's length. I'll call it Priscilla, she decided, as this seemed like a good name for a princess. You think Priscilla is a good name for a princess? She's not used to holding babies, is she? A moment later, a wet, squelching noise came from the baby's diaper, closely followed by an awful smell. Yuck! Shrieked the queen, dropping the baby and running off to find the royal nannies. She left so quickly that she didn't notice she had dropped the baby over the edge of the balcony. Oh no, that is not good. The baby does not look upset, does she? Down, down, down went the baby, into the farmer's cart. Up, up, up flew the piglet, into the princess's cradle. So the baby fell into the cart, and that catapulted the pig up and into the cradle. Oh my goodness. That is crazy how that happened. When the queen returned and found the piglet lying where the baby should have been, she let out an even louder shriek and fainted into the nanny's arms. The king thought he knew what had happened. A bad fairy has done this, he exclaimed. The fairy wasn't invited to the princess's christening, so she turned the baby into a piglet to get her revenge. It's the sort of thing that happens all the time in books. Have you heard of stories like that? Where they get revenge by turning the baby into something? And they're holding up the book, Sleeping Beauty. Meanwhile, the farmer had returned home and was surprised to discover a baby girl lying where the piglet should have been. The farmer's wife thought she knew what had happened. A good fairy has done this, she explained. The fairy knew how poor and honest we are and how badly we wanted a child. So she turned the piglet into a baby. It's the sort of thing that happens all the time in books. They both believe something magic happened, right? And that lady is holding up Thumbelina. And so, without a second thought, the baby became Pigmella, the farmer's daughter, and the piglet became Priscilla, the royal princess. The royal princess. The pig looked scared. It wasn't long before Pigmella was able to eat, walk, and get dressed all by herself. And the farmer and his wife soon forgot that she had ever been a pig. Things were not so easy for Priscilla. But the king and queen never let anyone forget that she was really a princess. So she started doing all the things a little girl does, right? And the pig was still a pig. So she did things that a piglet would do. As Pigmella grew older, she grew smarter and beautiful, and was admired by everyone she met. As Priscilla grew older, she grew not so smart, and not so beautiful, and was avoided by everyone she met. Poor Priscilla. Pigmella's doing very good, right? Poor Priscilla. Let's see what happens next. Then, one day, the farmer's wife overheard some of the castle servants talking about the princess who had turned into a pig. "It's just like what happened to Pigmella," she told her husband, "only the other way around." The farmer soon guessed what had happened. "The princess and the pig must have swapped places somehow," he explained. "It's the sort of thing that happens all the time in books." The poor farmer and his wife were very unhappy. They loved Pigmella, but they knew they must return her to her rightful home. Oh, how sad. And he's reading The Prince and the Pauper. That's what he's talking about, the book. Oh, they're so sad. They love her. They've raised her whole life. Pigmella was also unhappy. She loved the farmer and his wife and did not want to live with anyone else. But they were an honest family, so the next day they all went to the castle to see the king and queen. The king and queen listened to the farmer's story. You think they'll believe him? Let's see. But they didn't believe it. "What nonsense!" cried the queen. "Ridiculous!" the king laughed. "This girl may be smart and beautiful, but she does not look or speak like a real princess." The queen thought she knew what was happening. "It's a trick," she declared. "This girl is just a farmer's daughter pretending to be a princess so that she can marry a prince. It's the sort of thing that happens all the time in books." They still don't believe it, do they? Even though the farmer and his wife know the truth, but they're probably happy. And she's holding the book, Puss in Boots. And so Pigmella returned home with the farmer and his wife, where she married a young shepherd and lived happily ever after, and never once wished that she'd been a princess. She liked it. She liked her life. See, she got married and was so happy. Let's see what happened. And Priscilla also got married to a handsome prince, although he had to be talked into it. Priscilla was changed into a pig by a bad fairy, the king explained. "But once you kiss her, the spell will be broken and she will turn back into a beautiful princess," added the queen. "It's the sort of thing that happens all the time in books," they assured him. But unfortunately for the prince, let's see what that book is. The Frog Prince. Let's see. It's not the sort of thing that happens in this particular book. Right? We knew that because Priscilla is really a pig. How did you like that story? I hope you liked it. I thought it's cute and funny, and I liked how the farmer and his wife were very honest, even though they had a chance that they could have lost their daughter. They were being honest. It's important to be honest. And it worked out in their favor. They got to keep their Pigmella, and she got to get married and have her beautiful life and live with them forever. So, I hope you liked this story. Here's the front cover, The Princess and the Pig. She's reading a book, and Priscilla's eating a book. Pigmella is sitting on the books laughing at Priscilla, who's running around in her clothes. Isn't that funny? I really like that. And the back says, "Can a pig really become a princess?" And here is the spine. Has the name, but it's a very thin spine because it's a paperback book. Sometimes they're very thin. Okay, well, I guess Mimi's gonna sign off for now, but tomorrow I will do a craft with you. I think it's gonna be something with recycling, so be ready for that. But if it's not, I'll let you know, but you'll figure it out. But I'm gonna try to come up with something with recycling since I'm doing that once a week. And I guess I will see you tomorrow on Mimi's Adventures. Bye.